Hello YouTube. Welcome to my tube. I want to do a tobacco review. Doesn't everybody? I see so many YouTube tobacco reviews and I sort of enjoy them. Of course you can't tell too much about a tobacco review because it's a matter of taste. And I just recently purchased some Dunhill's Baby Bottom. And in addition to this tobacco review, that name, Baby's Bottom, had me think back to my younger years and some of the sayings and superstitions associated with my family, and you probably have them in your history with your family. And the reason it made me harken back was the name Baby's Bottom. My father, I remember as a kid, he'd use this term often when referring to, something cool, I guess, or slick or whatever. But I'd hear him from time to time, excuse the language, he'd say, "Man, that's slick as a baby's ass." I thought, when I ordered Baby's Bottom, I immediately thought of my old man and that saying, well, that must be slick as a baby's ass. Now, I guess today, even making references to a baby's ass or baby's bottom, to many might be considered some kind of pedophilia or something, but my old man, my father, was anything but that. He was a great guy. Came from West Virginia, Huntington, West Virginia, as a matter of fact, and moved away from there when he was probably a young teenager with my grandmother, his mother and father, to where we grew up in Indiana. But he was a West Virginia boy, and along with slick as a baby's ass, I grew up with a lot of this Southern colloquialism and these superstitions, and I just thought in this tobacco review I'd throw a little bit of that stuff in there with you. And by the way, I'm drinking some Starbucks double shot coffee with this. I like this stuff cold. Oh, okay, let me hop on to the tobacco. I've smoked a couple bowls of it, and I pretty much like all of the Dunhill blends, some more than others. This is okay. For my taste, this is okay. I would consider it mild, a mild English blend. I know if you do a tobacco review, you gotta show it, right? I know you can see it. Typical. Mostly dark browns, a little black in there from a lot of Kia. Smells like probably 100 other English blends to me. I like that smell. I like some refer to it as ketchup or smoky, whatever. I like that smell. But back to the backy. Very mild, very smooth, as most Dunhill brands are. Very smooth. A lot of smoke. But as I said, not one of my favorites. I mean, I'm a Dunhill 965 enthusiast, Nightcap, Yacht Club. I like the Dunhill brands. This one, I would say I'm gonna order it again just because it's slick as a baby's ass. Because it's good. Probably smoke this all day. An all-day blend. And what's not to like about that tin, huh? Cool. Back to some of the sayings of my past and my family. As I mentioned, they're from West Virginia. My grandmother would tell me, and believed this. I mean, by the way, this isn't, my family believed this stuff. If you tickled a baby's feet, they would grow up and stutter. Well, what did she know? I mean, how could that be possible? She believed that, oh my God, don't tickle that baby's feet. Grow up and stutter. Don't know, but that's what she believed. My grandfather, hat, you know, my grandfather wore a hat. He left the house, he had to have a hat on, like having, I guess, pants on. And he would believe that if you didn't, or you could never lay a hat on a bed. Oh my God, if a hat was ever on a bed, evidently that meant the person was dead, deceased, or whatever. Never put a hat on the bed. Maybe anybody's watching this video that were a little more urbane in their youth and didn't have these kind of superstitions. But to me, as I grow older, I think they're kind of cool, actually. I look back on them. You grow up to a certain age, and you know, and you take this stuff as fact. About a third of weight in this bowl, by the way, and not much of a change. Just mild. A little hint of nuttiness, maybe, you know, way back in the background, a little of that, you know, a lot of these English blends have a little of that, I like to call it like a raisin kind of a taste. Not sweet. Not sweet, but good, mild. So, back to Slick. My grandfather, if many of my friends that they met before they passed, you know how older folks are. They don't have much. They can see right through some of the younger people around them. And my grandfather, if he thought somebody was dumb, or he thought one of my friends, that boy, he'd say, that boy is dumb as a bank mule. Now, growing up in Indiana, dumb as a bank mule. Now, it took me, until I really became curious later on. What is a bank mule? I don't know, it must be dumb, but evidently, along the rivers, in early days, I guess they would have barges pulled up and down the rivers by mules, and these mules would pull a barge one way, one direction, and after so many years you couldn't get rid of that mule, because all that mule could do was just walk a straight line. They couldn't be ridden very well, they couldn't turn, supposedly. So if you were as dumb as a bank mule, man, you could only go one way in life, and that was obviously not a good way to my grandfather. So maybe I'm dumb as a bank mule for making this video and smoking baby's bottom, but well, no, I wish I could ask him. And if you go to buy any of this stuff, and let's say you go to some vendor or something and you want to take it home, if you would ask my grandmother how you could get it home, why, it'd be easy. You just put it in a poke and carry it home. I thought growing up that everybody used the term poke, which evidently now means bag, sack. I remember hearing a song years ago, Poke Salad Annie. Maybe some of you heard that. I don't know, Gator got your granny. But if the gator got my granny, she had the poke, probably some salad in it too. I don't know. Good sweet. So, how about you? Some of the superstitions, some of the sayings that your family, that you grew up with, maybe that you don't hear so much anymore, maybe for a good reason. maybe you'd have some stories that would be slick as a baby's ass. If you do, I'd watch the video. I'd appreciate a comment or two about some of your sayings that you grew up with, and I don't in any way mean this stuff to be hurtful to anybody. I mean, frankly, if you think that a saying from somebody's past is that's slick as a baby's ass, or you're somehow turned off by the idea that, I mean, I have grandchildren and children, and I remember loving nothing better than before they put that diaper on, just squeezing their soft little butts and just loving the heck out of them. If that's offensive to you, you probably shouldn't watch this video, because that's my way of thinking it's normal. Maybe we're all becoming bank mules, and all we can do is walk in a straight line and not really see someone else's perspective without just going up that river and not being able to look away. Not everyone that appreciates their past or oddities of their history or their surroundings is some kind of weirdo or some kind of pedophile or something. So I do wish you well. I think we should revel in our heritage, even some of the foolish parts of our heritage. It makes us who we are. And once in a while, it's wonderful to be a fool, and it's wonderful to think about a baby's bottom in a sweet and loving way, and maybe even a nice pipe smoking adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'd like to see you again.